Welcome to True Tall Tales, where reality is stranger than fiction. My name is Sunny Boy, and welcome to another week of True Tall Tales. Thank you for tuning in every week. Now, this week's episode, I'm just going to go straight into it. I just want to have a bit of a rant. Now, it's good to have a rant because we all store things in our mind that stresses us out or something that pisses us off. And anyone that knows me, I always say, communication, communication, communication is one of the best keys in life. And that's if it's talking to your family, your partner, colleagues at work, your best friends. If you need to get something off your chest, just speak to someone. Get it out. Get it off your chest. You feel so much better. You feel so much lighter. Even if you're waiting for a bus or an Uber and you just speak to some stranger in a bar, just get it off your chest and it just feels good to get it out. So I'd rather just get it out on my podcast. So here it is. Here's my little rant. So Aussie, my little rant for the week. All right, now let's talk about TV. Now, TV, as we know, it went from being a family affair to an extreme sport. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, especially here in Australia, we were like 5 years behind on everything. People in America were crying about a character dying in bloody Grey's Anatomy, and we're just meeting them for the first time and like, oh, wow, I love this guy. Like, did we know we had 3 episodes to live and a tragic backstory involving a helicopter? Then came streaming. Oh, glorious, majestic, life changing streaming. And no ads, no ads, no ads, love, no ads. And instant gratification. I felt like I discovered time travel and I was finally living in the same timeline as the rest of the planet. I was like, this is what it must feel like to be the rest of the world where we're getting the episodes the same week as everyone else around the world. Because Australia always used to be years behind in TV shows. But streaming changed that. So now, these days, anyone that's listening out there, and I've got Stan, I've got Binge, I've got Netflix, I've got Disney Plus, I've got Paramount Plus, I've got Hey You, I've got Apple TV. I've probably left some of them out. And basically, I've built myself a streaming buffet. And it's like dating 7 people at once. Each has their own vibe, their own charm, and their own bloody billing cycle. And I don't even eat that many meals in a week because I'm trying to lose weight. But I've got content coming out of my freaking eyeballs. But then you realize this is fucking expensive. And I started treating streaming like a strategic game of Tetris. Okay, this show comes out weekly. Cool, cool, cool. I'll cancel Binge and I'll come back in a month so I can start watching Binge the whole time again. Genius. I feel like we're tech savvy masterminds. And it is. And it's like Tetris of kind of shuffling all your streamings behind of what you keep open and then reopening and start getting charged and then canceling it again. And then I thought I was a genius. And then the sharing economy kicked in. Boy, George, I'll give you my Apple TV if you give me a Disney. Suddenly, we're all back in primary school swapping Vegemite sandwiches for roll-ups, but instead of snacks, it's prestige television. I'll give you Ted Lasso for a weekend of The Mandalorian. But then, bam, the streaming platforms got wise. They got fucking wise. Now they're like, sorry, we see you're not in the same house as George. No password sharing allowed, you fucking peasant. And I'm sitting there in my own lounge room getting ghosted by Netflix like a Tinder match that will never message back. And then, if that wasn't enough, and then, the fucking ads came. Excuse my French. Excuse my Australian, I should say. And then the ads came. Excuse me? Excuse me, Felicia? I say what now? I signed up to not see ads. That was the deal. And now you're showing me ads and asking me to pay more to remove them. That's like ordering a steak and a waiter slapping a carrot on your plate and saying, that'll be an extra $7 if you don't want this. Everything is going up in price. What started at a minimum of $10 a month is now going up to $16.99 a month. And a passive aggressive email if I dare to cancel, like Netflix, please, you're not my ex, stop guilting me. And then, my favorite show at the moment, The Last of Us. What a great show. Season 1 finished it, loved it. One of the biggest shows around the world. Everyone loves it. Been waiting so long for season 2 to come out and it finally returned. Everyone's like, no, dude, season 2, The Last of Us, has returned. I'm like, are you sure? Like, how do I not know this? How am I living under a rock? It's one of my favorite shows. I run home from the gym. I'm frothing. And I go and I open up my app Binge, because Binge is the platform that's on in Australia, which is Foxtel. And I said, let's go, baby. Let's go. And I'm sitting there. I'm not going to go out for a week. And I'm going to sit there and watch The Last of Us on Binge. And as I open it up, it's not there. Well, why is it not there? I'm in search, The Last of Us. Searching, Last of Us. Why is it gone? Wait, was it even on Binge? Is it on a different platform? I thought I was losing my mind. I'm then Googling, whispering to myself like I'm in a thriller. Is it out? Is it out? Did I imagine that like season 2's out? I don't understand what's going on. Literally going crazy. And then it turns out that Max, HBO Max, now have decided to do a Beyonce and drop their own streaming service with no warning and no free trial. Rude, just like Disney started that trend, just smugly knowing that their content is on fire and so fucking good that you'll cave in. And I did. I folded like a bloody lawn chair. And at this point, I just want one universal streaming service, like a buffet pass or a digital Costco for telly, because I can't keep living like this. I spend more on streaming than I do on food, and the only six-pack I have is in my recommended for you list. Anyway, if you don't hear me from a while, it's because I've checked myself into rehab for streaming addiction. The first step is admitting you have a problem. The second step is borrowing your mate's login to watch the next episode of Succession. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and listening to my rant on True Tall Tales. Streaming services are just getting out of hand at the moment, and comment if you or share this episode if you feel the same way I do. It feels so much better getting that out of my head and my system. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.